It's 7 months since we elected 90 MLAs to run the show at Stormont. Since then, the only thing which hasn't stopped is their pay. As Principal Deputy Speaker, Caitríona Ruane never walked away from a challenge.
The member knows full well that Speaker's ruling is final on all questions of procedure and order, and that when in this chair, Deputy Speakers and Principal Deputy Speaker have the same authority.
But although she didn't even stand in the election, she remained in post as part of Stormont's deep freeze, which means the £55,000 salary continued as well. And that's too much for the man who used to help oversee MLA's pay.
It seems to me that the system is calling out for overhaul, which we recommended some 18 months ago now, and badly needs it to take care of these sorts of anomalous situations which only serve to bring the Assembly into disrepute.
One of Sinn Féin's biggest critics called on Caitríona Ruane to resign.
It's beyond farce to think that somebody who's not even an MLA holds the post of Principal Deputy Speaker of an Assembly that they don't belong to is farcical. But if on top of that, that person is being remunerated, then it becomes outrageous. And the answer to this lies in Miss Ruane's own hand. She can do what Danny Kennedy did. He also was a Deputy Speaker. He resigned as a Deputy Speaker. She has not resigned. Why not? If that means she's being continued to be paid £55,000, then why has she not resigned to put an end to that scandalous situation?
And tonight, resign she did, saying that since March she's given the money to a range of charities and community groups. She added that she never thought the election of a Speaker and Deputy Speaker would take so long, saying she had come to the conclusion now was the time to tender her resignation. Minutes earlier, Sinn Fein in a statement said that any arrangements she may have come to with the Assembly were her own affair. Pat McCartan says the government has to intervene in the overall situation at Stormont.
The Secretary of State should act in relation to any payments and perhaps look at modifying, reducing or removing them until there is an agreement to get back to the Assembly. That would be for him to do and not and for Westminster to do. It would have to go through the House of Parliament over there with all of the consequent difficulties with the DUP and the Conservatives as they currently are. But that has to happen. Otherwise, we continue with the current system of payments.
Under the rules, the SDLP's Alex Atwood, who lost his seat in March, is also entitled to £55,000 a year because he sits on the Assembly Commission. Alex Atwood declined to do an interview with The View, but it's our understanding he returns to the Department of Finance the vast majority of his salary. That's the £49,500 he got for being an MLA. He keeps the remaining £5,500 he gets for still being a member of the Assembly Commission. Of course, the return of devolution might help restore Stormont's reputation, but the latest advice is don't put money on it.
Gareth Gordon reporting, and Newton and Deirdre are with me now. You couldn't make this stuff up, Deirdre. Caitríona Ruane has now resigned as Principal Deputy Speaker 7 months after she stopped being an MLA.
Well, you quite literally couldn't make it up. It's no wonder people are exasperated. I mean, with a local democratic system, people need to have trust and confidence in the system and faith that the system is working well. And this has been eroded on a daily basis. I mean, in what sort of a world can you have a job that you didn't stand for election, you weren't elected, and you're being paid for 7 months? It's quite a coincidence that she resigned today on the day that Jim Allister exposed this. I think the public are really feeling they've had enough, and we need a root and branch review of the whole system.
What do you make of it?
Well, it's a great story, and I think that Ruane still has a lot of questions to answer, but it's not really a surprise that there are a lot of loose ends like this left in the sort of limbo Stormont has entered. After the St Andrews Agreement in 2006, a very important part of that agreement was scrapping the suspension powers introduced 6 years before and pretending that Stormont would never collapse again. And for that reason, it's not been possible to make plans and certainly not to make rules that assume that Stormont would collapse. So when we've entered this odd kind of twilight that it's in now, it's perfectly understandable that you'd get these kind of hangover or momentum kind of issues going on.
Yes, but at the same
I just
time,
want to say we did ask Caitríona Ruane to come onto the programme tonight. She didn't want to, and she did issue that statement saying she has confirmed she's donated the monies to charities and community groups, including an Irish language group for the elderly, an LGBT group and a charity for children with disabilities. So she says she hasn't kept the money.
yes, but she knew she was being paid the money, and she knew that she wasn't in a position to be paid the money. So is the system wrong? Should she have said, this can't be right, I shouldn't be getting these payments? But in the end, people, in terms of public confidence, it's being eroded. The system is not working. It's not fit for purpose.
And we also have, and this is a revelation on this programme tonight, news that Alex Atwood is still getting his salary as an MLA and a member of the Assembly Commission, even though he lost his seat back in March.
Yes, this is that's a fascinating example of procedure where he apparently, he says, wants to resign but isn't able to do so. It seems that they can still turn up to meetings of this commission, but they can't get the right kind of meeting to accept his resignation.
And again, he's paying his MLA's salary back again, though keeping apparently the Assembly Commission part, £5,500.
But again, it's like an episode of In the Thick of It. He wants to resign. He can't resign. He wants to pay the money back. They don't want to take the money back. Surely people watching at home are saying, what on earth is going on here? This is our taxpayers' money at a time when public services are under tremendous pressure. People are being paid for jobs that they're not eligible to do.
OK, thanks both very much indeed. We'll hear more from you both later in the programme.